Welcome, welcome. Carolina here from Create Your Way of Life. And I have such a pleasure to have this interview with Sara. She's been with this academy just over the year, and she's wonderful mother to two kids. And yeah, I love what she's doing. She's full-time mom, and so she's like conscious parenting. She's very much into this kind of things like being there for her kids and doing awesome stuff, like, which is for me so inspiring. This is very close to my heart, and I am super inspired to hear your story, like what drive you to decide to join this academy. So first, please tell us a few words about yourself, where you live, and yeah, share whatever you want to share.
Thank you so much. First of all, I appreciate having this time with you. I live in the U.S. in Colorado, and like you mentioned, I have two children, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, a son and a daughter, and I'm married, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and now also a business owner, although quite honestly, when I started this venture, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So I can't even believe what I'm doing today, and the fact that I get to do it in the company of my children. So that's a really big deal, to build a legacy without suffering the loss of time with your children, without repercussions to your relationship, so.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, maybe share with us, where you were in life before you joined this academy. Why you joined? What was appealing for you, or where
Sure.
you were seeking, basically.
Well, I'll back up a little bit. So I'm going to give you some history. My husband and I have been married almost 12 years this month, actually. And we had committed ourselves to his career, and that meant that we moved a lot. And it meant, in order for pay raises and for better titles at work and so forth, we committed ourselves to pursuing his career. And theoretically, that was a really wonderful thing for me. I'm like a lot of things, I can intellectually agree with something, but then practically speaking, living it out can be challenging. So like, for instance, I have a higher level of education than my husband, and I had always had these like really clear aspirations, professionally speaking. But then marrying, I also had a desire to honor my husband in the role that he was now, in our family. So I really, I was learning how to honor him, but then also honor myself, which is actually, I'm still doing that, because I had so much drive, but you kind of have to set that aside if you're going to be, transient, moving around and doing all this stuff for his career. Anyways, so it was fine. It was good. We've lived in many places and experienced, different communities and a lot of life that we wouldn't have experienced. And like anything, it came at a cost. So we were never close to family. It was hard to develop deep, lasting relationships because we were always leaving. And then we moved to a really metropolitan, a true cosmopolitan area. And, you can imagine there's a lot of wonderful privileges that a cosmopolitan area offers you. But it also comes with a cost as well, especially once you start your own family. So all of a sudden we were confronted with this question of what kind of life do we want to create for our children? So, because granted, we were in a really affluent area, we had a nice house and museums and zoo and all that. But in terms of like nurturing a quality of relationship, when you're spread so thin, there's not much left of you to cultivate the things that, at least for us, were most important. So with the birth of our son, we were just like, thinking, oh my goodness, what have we done? Because we're almost a decade into his career, and we hadn't achieved what we had set out to achieve. And yet now we were having conversations about walking away. And that was really painful, because we thought, do we really walk away before we get there, So anyways, we did end up, we left. We were in Houston. We left Houston. He left his industry. He was in oil and gas. We bought a house in the mountains, and we thought we had made the big change. Like we had made the geographical change, and it was good until we quickly realized my husband, he got a job in Denver. And so it's a lovely commute comparatively speaking, but it's still a commute of 40 minutes both ways, you know? And he still works a full day. And so all of a sudden the reality set in that he still doesn't have the availability to be the coach that he wants to be, to travel with us the way he wants to. And so when I saw this ad on YouTube, I thought, oh my goodness, this could be the solution, right? Because this can, at least this is what this guy says, that we can, you know, have geographical freedom. And so I thought it's worth exploring. Well, my husband wasn't interested at all, and I don't blame him, because we both sort of had these attitudes with regard to online business, that it was like, you know, mostly scammy and like shady people and that sort of thing. And so I thought, but you know what? For the sake of our family, it's worth exploring. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna look into it. So I committed myself to give it a year and to really check it out and to apply myself to it, which I've done. And quite honestly, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I really didn't. And even still today, I wonder sometime if I have the proper capacity to communicate effectively to someone who's in the traditional setting, working a traditional job, because the opportunity that's available to you in the virtual world is nearly incomprehensible. Anything you can dream or imagine is possible in the virtual world, because as you know, we have a global platform. So all of a sudden, for people who wonder, what is my value? Who are the people that want to hear what I have to say? Well, when you're speaking to the world at large, trust me, you're going to find your community of people. You're going to find the people who want to follow you, who want to hear your message, and the people that you really jive well with. So anyways, that's what drove me into this online venture. And I'm literally building a legacy. So now, yes, I came in with the intention of learning, what is this affiliate marketing? How can I, you know, make something viable of this? But what I didn't realize is now I have a model for introducing my children to the digital economy, to teaching them financial savvy so that they're not financially illiterate, teaching them business skills and all of that stuff. I have future objectives for my own product line and for a book that I want to write. And like, but that's just it, is with, when you enter into the digital economy, into the virtual world, you literally have a platform to launch almost anything. Absolutely. And that's kind of where I'm at.
I love it. I love it. 100% agree with you. I didn't know what I'm getting into the same. You know, I am former accountant, and I was thinking just I wanted to get out of the spreadsheet on a daily basis and constantly doing the same things, you know, budget, you know, like forecast and so on, and I want more freedom. And when I got into this, it was like, wow, there are so many options, and the growth which comes with it is just like priceless. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. If you can share with us, you know, your breakthroughs through this journey.
I'm going to be honest. It's been a challenging journey for a number of reasons. I was introduced to Robert Kiyosaki, an author. He's more than an author. He's got true business savvy. And so he's published these books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the Cash Quadrant, and several others. And when I got introduced to his teaching, it was a major mind shift. And not only that, but it totally has changed my objectives for the future. And so as much as like entering into the digital economy has been a really big deal, even more of a big deal is the fact that my goals for the future have totally changed. And with that, my attitude to the present has changed. So with regard to our home and the car I drive, all of a sudden, yeah, these things are still of value to me, but everything now I see as a stepping stone to my ultimate destination. And by ultimate destination, I mean I have a clear vision of what I want to provide for my children, and not just for the present. I mean, like, when I use the word legacy, I don't use it lightly. I'm literally building not only our future, but the future of my children and their children's children. And so that's been the big thing. Like even tonight at dinner, I mean, I don't think a day goes by that we don't have a conversation of how can we build an additional stream of income. Like I want several streams of income. So that's how my mind is constantly working now is, I don't want to be wedded to my husband's paycheck. I don't even want to be wedded to the money that I draw in from my online ventures. I want everything to be done from a place of pleasure and enjoyment. And then the money, the wealth, the abundance follows me just pursuing my destiny, my purpose. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, so beautiful. I so relate to this what you're saying. First of all, I don't have children, but yeah, one day when I'm gonna have children, this is exactly what I want to do. Teach them the different way of thinking and like showing them just different stuff, not like this traditional way of living. Absolutely, and having many income streams, amazing. And this is we are more than capable of doing. And you know, like this academy really show me that this is so possible. And everyone can do that. Really, everyone can do that. No, beautiful. I love it. Love it. This really speaks to me. I relate so much to you. What would you say to? What would be your last message to people who are watching this and they may be in their lives they are seeking something, they don't know what is there, and they are just know that they need a change, and maybe now they are watching this somewhere on YouTube, and what would be your message to them?
You know, I'm a big advocate for hope because I believe that we all, destiny authors a story for each of us. And we're born with appetites, specific appetites, and that are put there specifically to propel us in the direction of our destiny. So it's unique to each of us, right? But then we get into the rut of traditionalism and a sense of obligation and commitment. And so we sort of conform to this rote standard of living, which really isn't living at all, right? So I would say I would want to reawaken the hope that maybe is lying dormant in the people watching this, because I know that once as a child you daydreamed. I know that once upon a time you had fantasies of what life could be and how you were going to do things differently. But then like reality set in and you felt like you had to succumb to the patterns that somebody else applied to your life. But I want you to know from experience, like I can tell you personally that that's not the only way to do life. And in fact, I would argue that that's not life at all. You weren't created to be generic. You weren't created to follow somebody else's pattern for life, but you were created to be so distinct that literally the people around you are compelled to ask, like, how do you do it? How do you live a life so good? Destiny wants your story to be so rich and fulfilling that other people are enticed to live their destiny as well. And what the online platform allows us or permits us is a viable option to do just that, to earn an income by being uniquely ourselves. That's what I would say.
Beautifully said. I'm not gonna even add anything because I just beautiful. So with this tone, I just want to say thank you so much, Sara, for your time and for sharing your wisdom. You know, it's been really inspiring for me to listen you, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people who really resonate what you just said. So thank you so much, and I'm sure we will see sometimes soon.
For sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.